Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm at the pond. We've got a story about another train derailment that's going on right now. It happened this morning at 1 a.m. in Minnesota. On the heels of what happened a few weeks ago about the nuclear power plant leaked 400,000 gallons of radioactive water out in Minnesota. That was in St. Paul. I've already covered that story, but there's too many incidences going on. And here's two together. This one's today. Yesterday, there was some barges toppled over in Ohio. I'll talk about that a little bit, but first let me get into this story. And we're also going to cover the safety moonwalk that I have noticed through my history in construction and kind of how it works and how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But check out today's story. Evacuations are underway after freight train derails and catches fire in Minnesota. The incident was reported around 1 a.m. Multiple tankers of a train operated by BNSF Railway derailed and caught fire on the western edge of Raymond. The town had about 800 people in it. A half-mile evacuation radius was established around the derailment site. Residents within the designated area were instructed to leave their homes, while those with nowhere to go were sent to a school in the nearby town of Princeburg. The fire is being contained, they say. Okay, I don't know, I'm not there. But here's the deal. When, the railroad is always talking about safety, these big companies are always talking about safety, but safety is to put, in my opinion, and what I've seen, is to put the liability on the employee. So if you don't have your hard hat on, even though you're in the middle of a field on break. I have been called in on that. There's somebody, I'm not going to say his name, but I'll never forget it, and I'm still looking for him. Somebody called in on me. I was in the middle of a field on break, hard hat off, eating a sandwich. They called the main office and told them I wasn't wearing my hard hat at work. That kind of crap. They want your phone back glasses, your face shield, your respirator, even when you don't need it. They're the authority. But if something happens and you don't have all of that crap on because they don't think you have enough sense to take care of yourself. Now, I'm getting on safety pretty hard, but I know we need it. I get it. I understand it. But you can't talk me out of it. It's a liability issue to protect the company. I've had people get hurt at work, and, instead of worrying about the guy's finger, they're worried if he had blood in his glove or not. Went and turned his glove inside out to see if he had his glove on. Not that it would have mattered. It crushed his finger. What does it matter? It happened. But that would have been a way for them to say, hey, he didn't have his gloves on. Not our fault. I've also been working in a power plant when a tornado come up. And instead of redoing the big ductwork that they were flying in, they went ahead and flew it into the building. And we had to get up under this load. It killed all of us. I was only 19. I didn't know any better. And weld some legs on it to set it down temporarily. I would never do that now. Safety was nowhere to be found. This goes on in shipyards. It goes on in the natural gas field. If something's going on that affects the company's bottom line that the safety guys work for, it's a no-go. Don't worry about that. We got something else to look at over here. Don't go over there. That'll be fine. So just think, the people that are touting safety in the railroad industry hear from the railroad. They say, hey, don't be looking at those railroad tracks. They're fine. We can get another year out of them at least. And a year rocks on, inflation gets worse, metal goes up. Oh, they're still doing fine. Just don't look at that. Don't worry about it. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough people to be concerned with the infrastructure that's falling apart. We'll fix that later on after we, bump our profits up while, make hay, while the getting's good. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it off for now. I think that's what's going on with these railroads. I think over the last 3 years, they said, hey, we're going to make all the money we can make. This thing's going down anyway. I don't know if that's what they're saying, but it makes sense. There's too many derailments. There's a difference between a wheel coming off the rail and a catastrophic pile of cars on fire every other day. You know, this doesn't happen all the time like people say. I get crap in the comments. Oh, derailments are they're all the time. Not true. This doesn't happen all the time. Not like this. And it's due to a degrading infrastructure, and you know, the people that are walking around touting safety obviously are not doing their job. We've got to put profits later, but after safety. Safety first. Remember that? You hear it everywhere you go. Safety first, safety first. You know? But the railroads are obviously not doing this. And don't think they're not making a killing. Now, the Ohio debacle, where they let all the chemicals out on the ground and thought it was a good idea to set them on fire. You know, I could have thought of a bunch of different ways to take care of that situation. That was the obvious wrong thing to do. I just can't imagine that. You know, hey, we got a problem. Hey, crack it open and set it on fire. That sounds like a good idea. I hope that's not what they do to the container of toxic alcohol in the Ohio River. This came out yesterday. It's one after the other. A navigational accident occurred around 2 a.m. It's always early in the morning. A vessel tugging 11 barges with various products collided with a stationary structure. Louisville Metro Emergency Services informed 10 of the 11 barges broke loose from their tug, with 3 ending up pinned against the lower part of the dam. It's got one of the units carried 1,400 metric tons of methanol, toxic alcohol, and it only takes 2.5 ounces to kill a person. Now, there has not been any leaks yet. That's the part of the story that's at the bottom. That's why it's not to be blown out of proportion. You know, I don't want to make this a thing. But the incompetent people that we're surrounded by might crack the lid on it and set it on fire. You don't ever know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, it's time to do proper inspections. It's time to make time, you know, because what's going to happen is in Ohio, they're starting to set measures in place. Tougher measures are coming. They're going to increase bigger fines. They're going to put hot box protection in on the wheels and bearings and stuff like that, which is great. But it's a little too late. And they're going to start passing. It always ends to the end consumer. All these fines and all this stuff they have to add on the cars, all they're going to do is take that, bump up the price to run freight, and you're going to pay for it. So they get to make all the profit, put safety on the back burner, and then when their feet are held to the fire, somewhat, if it is at all, they're just going to pass that cost to the consumer. It's a win-win for them, and I'm sick of it. So guys, if I see any more Thunderdome news, you'll be the first to know about it. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, and have an awesome, awesome day. Later.